edition of Entertainment Extra with Joe Crawford on RemicTV.com. If you have been following us on Facebook, you've heard the question I've asked out over the past week. Who is funnier, men or women in the comedy world? And I got your comments. We'll go over them in just a few minutes. But we have two gentlemen who are joining us, and they're going to be in the Men versus Women comedy show this weekend, and they're going to give their aspect of why men are funnier. And then on Friday morning at 9 a.m., I have the women on my radio show. So you guys are lucky. You're on my TV show. So we get to see your faces. And the ladies will be on the blogtalkradio.com radio show, and check that out. And they'll give their opinion of why they're funny. And that is going to be happening on June 1st in Toronto and June 2nd in Hamilton. So make sure you get your tickets on that. And joining me on the table here, we have Mr. Patrick Haye and Jay Martin. Welcome, guys. How are you?
Great.
Great.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much for having us.
No problem. Well, first of all, let me start with you, Patrick, because you are, not to knock you down here, Jay, but Patrick has the baby face here that I see, and checking out the ladies too, Crystal Ferrier and Keisha Brownie. You seem to be the young one on board here, Patrick.
Yeah, okay, I'll go with that.
You're the rookie in the comedy part, right?
All right, yeah, rookie-ish, yeah.
What got you into comedy?
I was always a class clown. I just, later in the last 5 years or so, I finally decided to actually step to the stage and see what it could do.
All right, and you did pretty good back in 2010. You were in the Yuck Yucks Canadian Laugh-Off competition, made to the finals.
Yeah.
And so congratulations on getting that far.
That was a good time.
And hopefully you bring the funniness on stage for this weekend to prove that the men are funnier.
Got to represent the men.
There you go. And Jay, you've been around for a little longer than Patrick has here.
Yes. I'm a little getting older. I'm not a rookie anymore. I'm in the 8th year of my comedic career, and it's been going pretty well. First, I'd like to say, though, on behalf of your television viewers, a good thing that you put us in front of the camera, because if you see the other two, it wouldn't be such a sight for sore eyes. So you pick the right guys to put on the... Back to answer your question. Enjoy that, ladies, on the radio. Back to answering your question. Yes, it's about 8 years I'm doing this comedy, and it's been really good. I've got to travel a lot, open for a lot of big stars, so it's been really fun. Really great experience.
Awesome. Well, in those 8 years, you were actually able to open up for, actually you were with Russell Peters. He got you to go. Then Brian McKnight and Jamie Foxx you've opened up for. And
yes, some big ones.
How's it was working with those guys?
Well, awesome. First and foremost, like when you're working with someone like Jamie Foxx, it was weird. We had 2 days where I opened for him here in Rochester, and every day it was like 50 first dates. He was like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "The opening comic act." "I never heard of you." And I'm like, "No, I'm opening for you." And it was cool. He let me get on. The next day he sees me again 24 hours later. "Who are you?" And I'm like, "God, we just did this yesterday." So it was a fun experience. They don't really interact as much, but it was great. All those experiences, I get to learn a lot from the best comics in the world. You get to get in front of a huge crowd that really want to see the headliner, but the opportunity to make them laugh and that experience is second to none. I really appreciate those moments. So I learned a lot.
Very good. Well, this weekend we have going on the Men versus Women comedy.
You got it,
I find nowadays some women are trying to get out into the comedy world, but they're still not dominating. There seems to be a lot more males than there is females. And how is it that you two got chosen to represent the Men versus Women comedy?
Pat, you want to go first on that?
In this one, I actually don't know.
That's why I made Pat go first. Why'd you choose me? It's weird, and I'll take this over. Patrick and I, our comedic style isn't one that really knocks women. It's not really our style in our sets to do so. We're very good writers. We're very animated. I think from the purpose of the fact that we're pretty popular, and I guess that's why we're chosen, one. But two, I think we have creative styles that talk about relationships with women. So I'm not going to say we won't have our rivalry between us on stage, But we're not that kind of, we aren't those kind of comedians that just go out there and just be like, women suck, they're garbage. So we were.
Well, I gotta tell you this much, because when I was on the phone with Roger, who represents you guys,
Yeah, he put it together.
Yeah, and I was talking with the ladies. They're already trash talking you guys.
Oh, yes.
Already, and they were bashing you guys already. And Roger was like the mediator. Wait, don't even start bashing. Like, relax.
Well, as you said before, it's not a market where there are a lot of women in there already. So essentially, I think they gotta come out swinging.
Right.
They come out swinging at us. We're kind of like vets in a way. I don't consider Patrick really a new breed because he's that good. He's skipped a lot of grades in that aspect, and you know what I mean. Everyone's looking for their shine. This is not a team sport, so. When you're out there, it's your name that you're defending. And I think they've got to come out and try to chop the big boys down to Cape Stride. It's a fact. So they come out swinging, we'll come out swinging on Friday. You know what I mean? It's just that Rocky Balboa, Apollo Creed thing. And we'll see who's the victor.
Are we going to have the ringing of the bell ding and ready to go up?
Yes. I think we had to have some secret stuff. The women, I heard Keisha last night. She has some new material, and I know it's based on us, and because we have an open mic room, and she came to try out some stuff, and I think it's going to be good. If she's directing it at me or Patrick, it's going to be good. We're going to have to defend ourselves, but essentially, though, it's going to be a phenomenal show. But I think the winner will be the audience. Because the audience gets to see some creativity, some spontaneity, and just some good writing skills. And I'm not gonna lie, those two have very good writing skills. Like, it's not like we're picking two women that are just gonna be like, blah, 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 blah. And that's how you sound sometimes, blah, 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 blah. But these two are really good, and they do a lot of work together. They have, one thing they have over me and Pat, we're good friends, but those two perform a lot together. Yeah. They have skits together.
They have skits together.
They write
sketches
together.
And stuff together.
Sketches,
they do a lot of things together.
Okay.
Yeah,
So they got more of a work companion than together, maybe.
Yeah.
More over you two guys.
I wouldn't be surprised if during one of their sets or both of their sets, they're both on stage.
Right.
For at least a little chunk doing one of their sketches towards us, and then they finish individually, like, because they do a lot of things together. So
right.
Yes, they do.
So do you guys have a secret, not to say weapon, but I want to use it figuratively, weapon that may hopefully overtop that the guys...
We don't have any secret weapons. Last year, Last year, Pat and I were part of a team called the Fab Five of Comedy, where we grabbed 5 of the best African-Canadian comedians in the country. We did a show and we got big standing ovations. We did well, and I think both of us learned in that short period of time how to handle pressure. We don't have anything together. I'm not gonna be egotistical and say we don't need it, but I think, again, it's not a team sport. So they're not coming to say the team of those two are going to win. It's each of us going out there and battling our wits of comedy and seeing who comes out the victor. Yeah.
Now, do you guys find it hard, because you're both Canadian, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you guys find it hard to try to make it big in Canada than compared to in the States? Because like it seems to be a lot of the comedians nowadays have to go to the States to make it big. Like now, Russell Peters is down in the States. Mm-hmm. Jim Carrey, Robin, like we lost all our Canadians down to the States. Now, is it hard still to make a name in Canada, or?
Well, we don't have that superstar level of, I guess, anything here in Canada. It's not the way it is here. Like in the States, that structure, that star structure. Like in the States, it's different. When you start to excel, they raise their talent up. Whereas here in Canada, you could be one of the best and still be living at your mom's. Like it's just, it's not the same here.
Rent is cheaper that way. You can make more money.
And to add on to what Patrick's saying, it's unfortunate, but that's where the movies are made. That's where the dollars are. Their comedy clubs per capita area is just huge. And you know, in this game, you have to be seen and recognized. As much as I think, as you mentioned, I've opened for a lot of these stars and celebrities, I'm still not even remotely near Toronto celebrity. I call myself like a semi-celeb. Like, you know, when someone buys a house, they buy a semi-detached house. So they're like, I bought a home. But the person who buys that big detached house is like, I bought a new house. We are semi-detached celebrities in Toronto. We kind of got a half bit in there. Yeah. Hey, that might be Jay. No one's gonna be like, can I get a picture with you? Unless we're at the show. It's just the way it is. Canada, as Canadians, we're more reserved. You know what I mean? Even Toronto, we call it the #1 hater capital of the world, because you can go to concerts and everywhere in the world and everyone will get a standing ovation. Toronto, that's just not happening. Right. So it's a harder playing field, but to me, I think in the reverse, once we hit that level in the harder playing field, when we go other places, we will dominate, and we have dominated. It's not a question. Shout out to my boy Trix, who just went down to San Antonio and won the comedic competition. Wow. They would never think a Canadian would walk into San Antonio and win it. We have diversity here every day. Those guys in the States, be it as it may be, they're still somewhat segregated in certain places. So to have a comedian live in Toronto, we already know everything about samosas, roti, jerk chicken, Greek food, the Danforth. All of us have experienced all of that. In the States, it doesn't work like that. So we come more equipped to be able to take it on. That's why so many of us are so successful when we get seen at the high level.
Awesome. Women versus Men Comedy Show.com is where you can go to buy the tickets for this weekend. Friday, June the 1st in Toronto, and Saturday, June the 2nd in Hamilton. Whereabouts are the locations in Toronto and Hamilton?
Toronto is the Underground Cinema.
Okay.
And Hamilton's a Hamilton Place.
Okay.
I performed there before. It's in the Hamilton Place. There's a theater in there, a wonderful theater in there. I forgot the name of the theater, sorry. But if they go to the Hamilton Place, they will find it, or they go online and put Women vs. Men. They go to the website, they'll find exactly where they get tickets. It's a show I suggest you guys come out and see. It's gonna be hilarious. Me and my band, Pat, gonna be representing. The ladies gonna be representing. Yes, and it's gonna be funny. I think you guys will have to decide at the end, but I haven't lost much in my lifetime. Have you, Pat?
Not as much.
No. So we don't plan on losing.
Bringing the game on, eh?
Yes.
Patrick and Jay bringing their game on. And I asked people on our Facebook who follow us about who they think is funnier, men or women. And I got a couple quotes here. I have Clayton says, it depends. Ask a guy and he'll say we are funnier. Ask a woman and they'll say we're just stupid. Vicky Holder says women because we have men as material, so she's probably siding for the women, of course. Mariette Vanda Brooks said, I know for real men are funnier, and that's why women laugh the most. So we have a female saying the males are funnier. And a guy named John Hudak here says that he's just the plain funniest. But anyways, the Men versus Women Comedy Show. You have any words you want to say to the ladies? Any challenging words? Because I know when I talked to them on Friday or anything, I know they're going to write up, bash up, go up all over you guys.
Brace yourself.
That's it. Brace yourself.
Brace yourself.
I say to them, you know what I mean, get their bras tied on tight, put on their makeup, strap up whatever you have to strap up, because, you know, they have lonely nights, these two women. They get lonely nights, and we're here to hug you and console you in your time of need. On the microphone, we're gonna win this thing. It's a done case.
Patrick A. and Jay Martin, I want to thank you very much for coming here and talking about the Women versus Men Comedy Show. Funny you mentioned their bras, because actually today is National Bra Day.
Is it?
Yeah, because bras were invented today on 1889.
Wow.
Yeah, so May 30th.
Something
or
to
May
keep those
29th,
two things in check.
Yeah.
Good.
When was duct tape invented?
We'll look that one up for you, Patrick. For Entertainment Extra, make sure you go over and check out Women versus Men Comedy Show.com. You can see these guys. You can see the ladies, too. The ladies are going to be on my show on Friday on 9 o'clock in the morning on blogtalkradio.com. For Entertainment Extra, I'm Joe Crawford.